I'm like, my eyes go wide open. I left my credit card. I left my glasses.
And everyone starts at zero.
And I know that sounds like a weird way to put it, but wow. But the other one is don't ever quit. What are the 3 things you need to know about plumbing? The boss is an SOB. Don't bite your fingernails, and payday's Friday.
Welcome back, everyone, to Roofing Insights. Today we're in Dallas, Texas, at Texas Green Plumbing with Mr. Roger Wakefield. Thank you for
Dimitri,
can't speak anymore. Thank you for having me. You might be asking me, Dimitri, what in the world are you doing in the plumbing company? Wait a couple more minutes. It'll make perfect sense. Today, I want to teach you how to utilize YouTube channel in your business. I'm going to interview Roger, how YouTube helped him in his plumbing company. Roger, are you number one YouTuber in the plumbing world?
I am in the United States. We're growing. We have aspirations to be number one worldwide, but right now we do have the fastest growing plumbing channel in the U.S.
Absolutely love it. I met Roger about 2 years ago at a YouTube conference. At that time, I think I have like 1,000 subscribers. You have like 100. And today he's reaching out about 50,000 tomorrow.
Tomorrow should be 50,000.
And we're 30,000. We have about the same amount of views. He's about 20,000 subscribers more. Hopefully we'll gain a few more. But if you guys have any plumbing questions, just follow Roger and his channel. My first question, Roger, to you is,
Yes.
Are you famous?
No, I'm I'm not. I don't see it that way. I see that I'm growing popularity in the trades, and I see that people are asking me questions about it. I don't see me as famous. I can still walk in any restaurant in town and nobody knows who I am, so I'm doing pretty good.
I have the coolest share I haven't shared with my audience yet. About 2 months ago, I have teenage boys in my neighborhood coming to my house and asking me about my YouTube channel. And it went something like this. So they were on a bike ride. They're about my kids' age. And one of the boys came to me, are you Roofing Insights, right? I'm like, yes. And he goes like, my dad watches you all the time. And now it's the coolest thing. So I let him in. I have very nice setup at the gym. I have pull-up bar at the back. So I show them a few tricks, how to do pull-ups and stuff. So they get really close with me and my kids. So we became friends. And now every time they comment, how many subscribers do you have? It's really big. If you're a teenager, you want to grow a channel, it's awesome. How often do you get recognized?
Believe it or not, I get recognized more often than I would ever think. You know, we went out to lunch today. There's a restaurant right next to where we were at, and my wife and I went up there about probably 3 or 4 months ago, and we leave the restaurant and we're walking outside, and I hear somebody holler, Roger, Roger. And I thought, okay, I left my credit card, I left my glasses, I left something. And we turn around, it's this young man, and he comes walking up, and he says, look, I'm in high school, but I watch your videos because I want to be a plumber, and I just wanted to come out and tell you thank you. And it's like, man, that is really pretty cool. It does happen often, but you know, I can still walk in almost any restaurant in town and nobody knows me.
Absolutely. How old were you when you started the channel?
54.
54. What motivated you? Why did you decide at the age of 54 that, hey, I'm going to go with the channel?
Really, it's a combination of about 3 different things. Number one, I got tired of getting ripped off by marketing companies. Marketing companies will come in and tell you, look, we can make your phone ring as much as you want it to ring. Just give us a lot more money. And we were looking at it, and it was like, man, there's got to be a better way. And one morning, I saw Nathan Chan interviewing Michael Stelzner. And Michael Stelzner was talking about social media marketing world. And I thought, I want to learn that. And I still didn't jump. I still didn't move. 2 weeks later, I was on the treadmill one morning, and Gary Vee's talking, and he's doing a live somewhere, and he holds up his phone. He says, I don't care if you're 20, if you're 50, or if you're 70, you can do this. And I stepped on the side of the treadmill. I hit rewind. I'm looking down at it, and he had to say it again. And I thought, okay, I'm going to do it. And that's what got me started.
Gary Vee made us all start these channels. Now we influence more people start their channels. I help at least 12 people that I know of in my industry start the channel. Would you say it's too late to join the YouTube game now?
if you're a plumber, I'm going to tell you, yeah, it's too late. Don't worry.
Roofer too.
If you're a roofer, don't
Roofers
worry,
is
you're
saturated,
good.
not worth it.
No,
roofing.
oh my God, no. It is. We're growing so fast, but it's because there's so many new people coming in as viewers every day, as creators every day, and your story is different than mine. Your story is different than mine. We sat at a bar in LA talking 2 years ago saying, wow, you're a tradesperson too. I really like this. And I've enjoyed watching what you're doing. But, you looked at me then and said, look, it's not too late. Just start doing it. Get going. And we were both really getting started. And I hear that same question from people every day. And it's no, it's not too late.
And everyone starts at zero. If you look at any YouTuber who has 3-4 million subscribers now, a couple of years ago, just a few years ago, they had a point when they had zero. So it's never too late, love it. What's your favorite video that you have made up to date, like yours, not most popular, the one that changed you in some way, or it's just like too personal to you?
It's whenever I talk to people about getting into the trades. It's whenever I reach out and say, look, this is why it's good to be a plumber. And when I say plumber, anybody watching can take out the word plumber and put in roofer, put in electrician, put in HVAC tech. We're in the trades, and what we do is very common, very similar, but that's the one because I have so many people reach out to me and say, I got into plumbing because I saw this video. Thank you for changing my life.
Did YouTube channel bring you more leads?
Absolutely. YouTube channel makes my phone ring. And I know that sounds like a weird way to put it, but when we first started doing this, we were paying a lot of money to Google for AdSense. We were paying money to Google for AdWords, pay-per-click to make the phone ring. We pretty much just do YouTube videos now. Now, we're fixing to start doing Google again because we've got some ideas, but our phone rings because of the videos we make, because people watch what we do and we become that trusted advisor. Think about the videos you make and the good things you do for people. Customers see that too, and they're like, that's the kind of person I want to work with.
How do you come up with the ideas, and how many videos you produce per week?
Consistency, 3 times a week. Since a couple of months before I saw you, I walked into a conference March of 2018, and April of 2018, we started putting up 3 videos a week, and I think we've put up at least 3 a week every week since then.
That's impressive. How much time do you put into that? What's your ratio working in your plumbing business and working on everything YouTube? Because you pretty much run 2 companies now.
Mm-hmm. It's probably a 50-50 split. I probably spend half my time on social media because remember, I'm doing YouTube and videos and YouTube Live, but I'm also doing LinkedIn Live twice a week. I do a little bit on Facebook. Luckily, Will takes care of Instagram, everything else that we do, and the little snippets and things like that we do on LinkedIn, he does for me. So there's a lot of time involved, but we think that we are covering areas pretty well. And I'll go back to one of our first conversations. You talked about, look, I'm focusing right here. And we started doing that. We focused on YouTube. Then we focused on LinkedIn. And now we're looking at other opportunities. But pick one spot, get really good at it, and grow that area. I mean, I could have just tried focusing on 10 different platforms all at the same time, and it's going to be really overwhelming. Instead, we focused on one, started growing. But we try to keep our time consistent. We try to get really good at what we're doing before we move on to something else.
How do you like LinkedIn, and do you have results from LinkedIn yet?
Absolutely. I love it. LinkedIn, if you use LinkedIn right, and I've got people in the trades that I teach it to, you can literally build the community you want to build. And think about that. You're not just, it's almost like networking. And we teach networking, social media, and video. But it starts with networking, because if you can learn, like we did in LA, to sit and visit and talk to somebody and get to know somebody, bond with them. What do we have in common? What can we do to help each other? What can we do to communicate with each other? If you can learn to do that in person, you can learn to do it online. And if you're using LinkedIn properly, you can build the customers. So what I started doing is I started growing a community of real estate agents in the Dallas area. Now, whenever I make content, I make valuable content for them because they want to share that to their customers. Now, I'm their trusted advisor. I'm the person that they want to send to people.
Love it. Do you have topics you try not to cover? like politics, religion, anything, you would not make you would not comment, you would not make piece of content on it, like talking about masks.
You know, man, I wish I could say no. I wish I could say I'm as smart as you, because we've had that conversation.
I'm not smart at all.
Well, you know, look, I've got a cross over here over my shoulder, and look, if people ask me what I think, man, I tell them, look, I'm a Christian. I believe in God. You don't have to. It doesn't bother me. My thing is, though, politics, man, I have talked bad about the politicians here in Texas. I mean, almost a year ago, they voted to get rid of the plumbing license. And to me, that's wrong, because they are screwing over the people of Texas. If you're not protecting your customers or your constituents, and they're customers to me, constituents to them, man, what are you in politics for? If you're not going to do the right thing.
No, I think that's different. And I agree with you 100%. If it's directly affects your trade, yes. I'm talking about, I see a lot of business owners, they go and create a content, how they support Trump and they wouldn't support, other candidate like presidential elections and stuff like that. And they get very, very political. I see a lot of guys in Texas actually so like either left or right. It doesn't really matter to me, but they're influencers and they go, for me, it's almost suicide, because you're cutting your audience in half no matter where you are. If you are always pushing agenda, would you agree that it's a bad idea? Or maybe for you, for example, if you support Trump, I'm not saying you are, like, I don't care. If you support Trump, is it okay for influencer like yourself to always push Trump agenda in your videos?
I'm going to tell you, no, it's not okay. And here's why. Now, don't get me wrong. If you said, hey, do you support Trump? Yeah, I think he's been good for the United States. Okay, that's my opinion. I'm not telling you have to agree or don't have to agree. It doesn't matter. You ask me a question, I'm always going to be honest. Do I think that I should push politics? No. I got mad at Colin Kaepernick because he took away something that to me was sacred to the United States, and that's the NFL. He brought politics into it. And here's the thing. He had the greatest platform on earth. And I'll talk politics here for a second. He had the greatest platform on earth. He could have announced, hey, I'm coming to play in Dallas. I want the Dallas Police Department to fill up an arena, a venue, whatever. So many people would have come to hear him speak and hear his message. And to me, that would have been amazing. I would have gone. I want to hear what he has to say. I want to find out what I can do to help. Instead, he knelt for the national anthem, which affected or upset a lot of people in the United States. And to me, that was a disgrace to the flag, to the patriots, to the military that have died and given their lives for that. And to me, man, he was in such a perfect place to deliver an amazing message. And I truthfully think, had he done things right, he would have been the most popular political professional athlete ever. And I think he did it wrong. And it was because he tried pushing it into a venue, onto a platform where that's not what we went to watch him for. Mm-hmm. But I think he had the opportunity and the voice to say, hey, look, I believe in this and I want to talk about it. And I'm gonna rent out Texas Stadium the day before, and tells you how old I am. I'm gonna rent out Jerry Jones Land the day before, and if 60 or 80,000 people want to come listen to me talk, and I think they would have. And I think that would have been an amazing message. I wish it had been done different. So no, I don't think we should force our politics through our platforms. But some people do.
So it's okay to mention them, to share them, not to be shy about it, but just don't push it using your platforms, essentially.
I don't really mention it unless somebody asks. Mm-hmm. If I go live, I'm going live today. If somebody says, hey, did you vote for Hillary or did you vote for Trump? I'm going to answer it. I don't care.
Sure.
I'm going to tell them, this is what I saw. This is what I thought. If you get mad at me for that, okay, don't ask me the question then, because I'm just one of those guys. I'm gonna be honest.
Love it. Give one advice to someone who just started creating content today. Any content, YouTube, Facebook. I see a lot of business owners. I teach content marketing. I tell them, go out there, start creating content. One advice you would give to someone brand new?
And there's two big ones. Number one, study what content you're going to put out. Make sure you're giving people something of value. And it was put to me in a way, if somebody's going to give you 15 minutes of their life, give them value for it. And I think that part is huge. But the other one is don't ever quit. You're going to have days where you think, you know what, this is killing me. I can't do it. I'm tired of it. There's only 10 people watching. You know what? In the beginning, there may not even be 10. But one day, you're going to look down, you're going to be like, wow, 20,000 people saw this. Don't quit, because once you get it out there and get good at it, you're going to get better and more people are going to watch.
Love it. I would add to it, it's just personal story. Not to be a religious, we just talk about what not to talk, but years.
See, here he goes. Now we're going to talk politics right after that.
Well, years ago, I came to church, and the pastor would not do Bible study because there was only 2 people in the room. And I promised myself, like, I don't care. If 2 people came to listen to me, I mean, listen to what he just said. He said, if 10 people watch that video, don't get discouraged. Think about it. 10 people is 10 people in the room. Would you teach 10 people if they would be actually in the room, if they came to your event? Maybe you expected 50, maybe 100, but it's 10 people. We have the funny story happen at one of the conferences. One of the guy who was speaking breakout session, it's funny, he actually from Dallas. So he was supposed to teach at 7 o'clock in Las Vegas. And he was pissed that he was scheduled at 7 o'clock. He's like, and it was second day. He's like, no one gonna come listen to me. So he was in the room in this huge casino, right? So it'll take you like 20 minutes just to get there. So he did not show up at his own event. He was up and ready to go. And he said about 7:15, his phone started blowing up and people were mad because it was like 50 people in the room, 7 in the morning in Las Vegas. So the point is, you never know who will show up and what kind of quality of those 10 people might be. I mean, it could be your best contract, maybe the biggest opportunity of lifetime among those 10 people.
I love that. And, go back to Marcus Sheridan was doing a class one time, and Marcus Sheridan. Mm-hmm. And I don't remember where I saw the video, but he says, look, I'm going to ask y'all about something. He says, I put up this video. It got 5,000 shares or 5,000 likes, 100 shares, yada yada yada. What do y'all think? Is that good? And people start clapping and like, yeah. And he says, okay, I'm gonna show you this other one. He says, this one here got 50 likes and 1 share. Is it good? And the whole room got quiet. And he says, okay, let me tell y'all this. The other one, the first one, made no money at all, nothing. Mm-hmm. It was a post, but man, it got liked a lot and shared a lot. He said the other one, $5 million. He said because that 1 share just happened to be the CEO of a company that was looking to change their marketing ideas. And he says, oh my gosh. And he calls Marcus. He says, look, I want you to work on marketing for this store for me. Marcus says, I need to work on the marketing for all your stores for you. Turned into a huge contract. You never know who that one person in your Bible study class or watching your video may be, but that story may be what changes your life.
Same story here. The videos that make us the most money, least favorite one. I have roofing marketing guide in 2 years to get like 8,000, but I guarantee you out of those 8,000, those are the people who will buy tickets to your conference, to your classes. They will come to learn more. So how do you find a plumber?
Man, that's one I wish I knew. That's our biggest problem, and that's why I'm helping to recruit people into the trades nationwide. Not just plumbers, but electricians, roofers, HVAC techs. It's hard for us to find good trades people these days. I've got courses that I'm doing to teach people about plumbing to try to bring people in. I've got 2 apprentices that I think are phenomenal and are going to be 2 of the best plumbers I've ever had, but it's because I'm getting to train them and I'm getting to work with them and getting to build them right. I think there's some great plumbers out there. Most of the good plumbers that are out there, they've already got good jobs. They like their jobs. They're very comfortable where they're at. And I see a lot of stuff that they do on social media, so I know they're happy. But I also communicate with them and say, hey, if you ever decide to make a change, just please talk to me.
How do you find a plumber if you're the homeowner? If you're looking for plumbing work,
good one.
Where to go? Man,
that's a good one. And I network a lot. So I tell people all the time, don't wait till water's pouring out of your attic or your ceiling to start looking for your plumber, because then your plumber is the first person who answers the phone. And again, when you talk about storm chasers, when there's a storm in an area, the first roofer that answers and actually shows up and says, here's a quote, that's normally who people go with. Start now doing research. Find out, look at what plumbing companies you've heard from or roofing companies in your neighborhood. Are there any good ones? Are there any good ones locally? How long have they been around? vet them out now. Figure out who they are so that when you have an emergency, you've already got a plumber on speed dial. You've already got a roofer, an electrician, an HVAC tech. Because these are things that you don't want to wait till it's an emergency to try to figure out who that person is going to be for you.
What's trending in marketing in 2020?
Video, social media. It is, oh my gosh. And, I teach marketing to marketing companies, or I teach social media to marketing companies. And the big thing is, and think about it.
Isn't it crazy how guys like us tell them how to do? It should be the other way around.
No, what's crazy is that they're calling us, asking us, how do we do what you do? Yep. Because, and one thing that I start off telling them is, y'all are doing what was popular from 2000 to 2020. It worked. You put Yellow Pages out. You put TV commercials out. You put radio ads out. We're doing what's working from 2020 to 2025, and they're always going to be looking at us saying, we're David, they're Goliath. These are multi-million-dollar companies that are looking at us saying, how come you get more views, more comments, more watch time, more everything every month?
Because so how do you do it? How do you get more likes, more comments?
The same way you do. We communicate with people. We tell our stories. Every video you make is not trying to sell something. Every video they make is trying to sell something. And when I make a video about a product, and I pick it up all the time, I say, look, if I'm telling you about this Yeti, I'm telling you what's good about it. I'm telling you what works about it. I'm telling you why I like it and why I drink it. I'm not saying, hey, you need to buy this Yeti, and for $49.95, we'll ship it directly to you. Once I start saying you need to buy this, man, people are logging off. But when I tell you what's good about it and why it keeps ice so cold and why it does this and why it does that, you're in.
So true.
And it's a big deal. We're telling people about our experiences and what's worked for us. You're not going to sell something just because you make money out. You're going to sell something because it works. It's good. I'm doing it the same way.
You've created a lot of content for both homeowners and plumbers. What are the best videos you've made for both? And how do you navigate? How do you choose what's your next video? What's your ratio? You do 3 videos per week. How many videos you make for plumbers? How many videos you make for homeowners?
It's probably 1 video for homeowners. We still love the how-to videos. And believe it or not, we make it for homeowners, but we still get plumbers call us and say, wow, I didn't even know that trick. And I love that. But that's probably our ratio. We still do content, what are people looking for? What are people commenting on in our videos? And again, Will's great. He'll put in, what videos do y'all want to see? What videos have we not done? And a lot of times that's it. Ask your community. What videos would you like to see us make? And don't get me wrong, there's some of them that we can't do. People ask me, go do a big commercial job or something. Well, I'm a residential service company. We don't do big commercial jobs. I've done it before and I can talk about it, but I don't have the bandwidth to go out on a big commercial job and do a video. I wish I did, but coming up with content's fun.
Recently, YouTube and Google shared your story, reached out. I've seen that. I'm like, man, that's cool. I want a Google call me. Google call.
See, now I'm turning red. That one was
Tell us that story.
It was great. I got a message one day from a lady, and she said, Roger, look, she said, YouTube would like to do a story about you. And I said, why? And she said, well, because they think that what you're doing is good and they want to tell your story. And I said, I don't know. And she sent me a link to a guy named Nate Boyer. And Nate Boyer used to play football at UT, and I'm a UT fan, and I actually had season tickets when he was there. So I read his story or listened to the video of his story, and Nate was in the Green Berets. He went to Mac Brown at UT and said, when I get back from Afghanistan, I'm going to be your long snapper. And I watched his story, and I mean, man, I'm getting tears in my eyes watching it. It's like, oh my gosh, this guy literally went to Afghanistan as a Green Beret. While he's there, he watches YouTube and learns to deep snap. So he came back, got a scholarship, played for UT, went on to play for the Seattle Seahawks. Now, these people send me this, and I call them back. I said, guys, this is an amazing story. My story's not amazing. I'm just a plumber. And they started laughing. They said, no, we really like this. We want to talk to you about it. So they were going to come down, and then COVID hit. And when COVID hit, they said, look, we can't travel. I said, maybe we'll do it later. And then Grace called me or sent me a message about a month later, and she said, you know what? Your video guys are really good. what if y'all video it and we edit it and we put it together and we still go ahead and make this story? Do you think we can do that? And I talked to Will and Grayson, and they said, yeah, we can do that. And it turned out pretty good.
Love it. What was the story? Like they just, I know YouTube and Google, and explain that. What's Google for Business? Because they're investing a lot of money now to grow this essentially. So small businesses can advertise themselves via video on Google, obviously. What's the Google for Business? How can you explain it to people?
What has been good for me is, I used to spend money advertising on Google. Then I started investing all that money in YouTube to grow my reach, to get my voice out there. But the neat thing about it is YouTube will teach you how to use it. And you can go to YouTube and watch videos and learn how to do it. And that's what we started doing. How do we make videos? How do we grow on YouTube? How do we do this? How do we do that? And think about it. We're a business. So whatever we do, and Google owns YouTube, the two biggest, largest search engines in the world. And I find that funny. You talked earlier about, is it too late to start making video? If YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world and you're sending a lot of money to Google, why wouldn't you send it to the second largest search engine in the world too and learn how to do YouTube? So them telling my story was really neat. It was very humbling. I still look at these other people and think, y'all have an amazing story. I'm just a plumber.
I'm just a plumber. Tell us one good old plumbing joke.
Oh, man. What are the three things you need to know about plumbing? The boss is an SOB, don't bite your fingernails, and payday's Friday. Isn't that a roofing joke too?
It can be.
You might be able to bite your fingernails though.
Yep. How do you manage your comments?
Comments are something I've got to get better at. I try to come in the mornings, and I try to come in the mornings. I come in on the weekends. I came in 2 Saturdays and Sundays ago, and I was here all weekend replying to comments.
Why can't you do it from home?
I can do that because I love to come up here and set. I've got multiple monitors. I've got my comfy chair and turn the AC on. I can listen to somebody, Nick Nimmin or somebody on the weekend, and do that. But I love to just get away and get to where I can focus. Every comment is, to me, it's personal. It's either asking a question or telling me what I did wrong. I get a lot of hate comments, and
when you say a lot, how many is a lot?
I don't know.
5%, 10%?
No, it's not that big.
How many hate
it's
comments? It's
probably not even 1%, but
that's not a lot.
It's not. But when you get them,
come check Roofing Insights. You'll see what a lot of
I've
hate
seen yours.
means.
I'm like, man. The funny thing is though,
start roasting people.
I know. I need to. And it's not really hate comments. It's just every plumber thinks that they do things right and I do things wrong, which is fine. Sure. I love it when I make a solder video and I say, well, you started in the wrong spot. It's like, you know what? I started where I was taught and it's worked well for me. So it's always different. But I try to comment to as many people as I can because these people are not only taking the time to watch my video, but now they're taking the time to
engage
comment and ask me a question or engage with me. And I do. I really do it. I enjoy it and I appreciate it.
Love it. One question I have about your content is the SharkBites. Where do we start? So I'm a rookie plumber, right? So for me, SharkBites are a lifesaver. And then I came to this channel. I'm like, oh, he does not recommend that. How come? So obviously SharkBites are in every store. Everybody uses them. Plumbers use them. People who do it yourself, using them. Why you don't recommend them, and why you against them openly on your channel? You're not afraid of.
Are there things in every store that you don't think should be used for roofing, but they're in every store?
That's probably 1% of your negative comments. Probably comes from that shark.
On that particular video, probably 15 or 20, probably 50% of them are negative. My thing is, and look, I have nothing against push together fittings, and I think that one day they'll be designed right where we don't have leaks with them. We don't have things like that. And look, I'm not saying, yes, I am. SharkBite fittings are not good. And I don't know that it's the fittings, to be honest. I think really what it is that they don't put enough information out there teaching people how to use it right. I get a lot of plumbers that call or send messages and say, look, you're just a dinosaur. You're old school. You're not up to anything new. It's like, really, have y'all seen my videos? I teach people how to do things. And that they get mad and say, you just get mad because people aren't calling a plumber. They're using SharkBite instead. It's like, really, I teach people how to fix their own plumbing. Do you really think I care what they use? I want them to use something that's not going to leak and not going to cause problems. I think one day that, and maybe it's that SharkBite puts the information out there to teach people to use it 100% right every time.
What are the biggest problem with them?
The biggest problem is, and I don't know what causes it, everybody that complains on my video say if people would just ream the edges down, file them down, smooth them down, if they did everything right. And it's like, well, okay, but when we go to fix a leak, I assume they've done it right because it's there, it's been holding or whatever. But there's a lot of people who do videos about them blowing apart when they freeze or they expand and they won't contract back, so they'll blow apart. There's a lot of different things about them. I truthfully think SharkBite is probably on the cutting edge of coming up with something that will work, that will do things the way that it's supposed to. Right now, it's just, these old guys that say sometimes there's just nothing else to use. It's like, well, I've been plumbing 40 years, and 20 years ago, we found a way to fix that same thing anyway. So don't tell me there's not a way to fix it, because I'll come show you that there is. I've done it.
Love it. Absolutely love it. What's your work-life balance look like?
Oh, my God. I'm a workaholic. And look, Will hates it. Julie hates it. Great. Everybody hates it. But this is where I know what I'm doing.
Hold on. Will is your employee, right?
Will is my stepson.
Oh, okay.
And
why does he hate it? Will, why do you hate it?
Because I want him to be up here all week, 80 hours a day, just like everybody else.
A week, yeah.
And I say everybody else, it's just me. But Julia's like, hey, I'm going to get up and go to work. You want to go? And she's like, oh, my God, it's 4 a.m. Like, yeah, but come on, man, we can get dinner and we get started.
That's so me.
It's just, I mean, it is. I literally, one day last week, I got up at 2 o'clock and I'm getting in the shower. And Julie's like, well, what are you doing? So I'm going to work. She said, why? I said, my mind's running 90 miles an hour. I can't go to sleep. Why not just get up and go to work? If I lay there in bed and toss and turn and pull out my phone and start replying to comments, I'm going to wake her up. So it's like, look, I'm going to go to work. Call me when you're on the way. We'll go eat breakfast or something. But you know anybody like that?
I think it's me 20 years now. Like sometimes I text people like 4 a.m, 2 o'clock, you wake up first. Well, what I actually did, I fixed my work-life balance pretty good because I realized I sold business before. Mm-hmm. And the first thing after I sold the business, nothing changed. So I had agreement with that company that I have to work for them for 1 year. It was a flooring business. So I sold it. And the management of that company was showing like 8, 9 in the morning. And I still was showing up at 5. And I purchased 2 forklifts. I did so many things. So they would come in 7 in the morning, 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning, and I've done so much work down. And they were asking me why. Like, you sold the company. All we needed to do is to train your replacement so you can, I was moving out of state, and I just couldn't do it. And it was 8 years ago, and I promised myself, I said, I will never sell the business because I cannot work for anyone. Nobody will ever appreciate it. It's just how it is. And what I do is I actually go to CrossFit, and sometimes I go twice a day. I would go 5 in the morning, so I wake up and first thing, 1 hour, because you can't work you can't be on the phone when you're in the class for 1 hour. Uh-huh. So I just physically exhaust myself. So otherwise my brain will explode it from mental activities.
I know the feeling.
So does it bother you? Does it bother your wife? Does it?
It really doesn't. I think that, I think everybody understands now. Look, that's just me. It's the way I'm wired. I don't do it just to get out of the house. I don't do it just because, okay, I'm tired of laying in bed. It's just literally, I'll wake up at whatever time. Here lately, my normal wake up time is 3 o'clock. It doesn't matter what happens. I don't set alarms. I just at 3 o'clock, I'm like, my eyes go wide open. And it's like, okay, I'm up now. And when I do that, I know that if there's something going on in my mind, I need to get up. I need to write it down. I need to start working about it or working on it. But I start thinking, okay, and it'll just get going. And now instead of just a little thought, it's like I've got a list of them. It's like, okay, I need to go turn on the computer. I need to do some research. I need to do this because that's just the way my mind runs.
On this channel, I interviewed a lot of people about their work-life balance. I tried not to share this, but for me, this is the first time I'm sharing this. I think personally, that hard work fixes everything. If you have any addiction in your life, any bad habits, if you have any issues, hard work fixes them all. Work a little bit harder, you're gonna have no problems in life. I mean, maybe a little. I mean, I do agree we have to put our phones down a little bit more, spend more quality time with our kids and stuff. That's why I work out before my kids wake up, and that's why I put them to sleep. And my wife goes to bed, and I still work, right? But for me personally, Netflix and just that free time and all of that BS, that's what brings trouble in life. For me, hard work is a good thing.
And that's the way I see it. You know, me and my wife, we own multiple businesses, as you do. And I've told my wife before, look, it's just as easy to start two as it is to start one. You've just got to make sure that you're working on the right things to get the right things done. And it's true. If you will focus and work on what needs to be done, you can get it done. But you can't do it sleeping till 9 and taking off at 3. It's never going to happen.
Talking about work ethics, I agree 100%. Last question is, guide us through milestones of your YouTube channel. So now, tomorrow you're gonna hit 50,000 subscribers. You started, 2 years ago with a 0. What were the major milestones what changed and helped you through certain, because right now you're getting 200-300 subscribers a day, we're getting 50-60 subscribers today, and people look at us and, oh, that's easy, you already built the audience. Yeah, but it took us years to build it. What were the milestones?
Well, the night that I sat and talked to you in LA, we had 117 subscribers, and I know that because we had gone out to the area out in the back, the patio. There were a lot of YouTubers there getting ready for the video conference. And somebody came up to me and we were talking and they said, so how many subs do you have? I said, 117. And they said, wow, 117,000 subscribers. That's a lot for a plumber. And I'm like, no, I mean just 117. And they're looking at me like, oh, I'm sorry. And I'm like, oh man. So I'll never forget that. By the end of that year, we were trying to reach 300. We hit 350. I started
That's the first year.
First year. Well, and yeah, because I mean, if you look at my channel, it'll tell you I started it in 2011 or 2014. It was just where we were putting videos up.
Yeah. Create a Gmail account.
Yeah, exactly. Create a Gmail account. You've got a YouTube account. So that's really the way it was. But February, March 2018, when I went to the social media conference, I think I had 9 subscribers. So by the time October came around, I had 117. I had 365 at the end of the year. And our goal was to have 10,000 by the end of the next year. And I mean, man, we really pushed. We tried and we got real hard, but we pushed beyond and we hit 20,000. So once we hit 20,000 subs, it's like, okay, you know what?
Just rolling.
We can do this. And things started going good. We started focusing on improving 1% every video. We did not have to have a new studio next week. We did not have to have 2 new cameras next week. We didn't have to have all new software next week. But it was, look, let's make sure our microphones are working better than they were. Let's check the lighting. Let's check the editing. Let's check everything we're doing and get 1% better. Because if we can improve every week, we can continuously get better. And now, I mean, we still do it. We go back and look at thumbnails, at titles, at tags, at different things we're doing. What did we miss on this video that we got right on this video, and what can we do better? And I think the analytics are, and if you'll learn to look at them, it can be amazing.
Yeah, YouTube is so awesome about numbers and data. You can go back, and I do it all the time. Sometimes we put videos out, and we have no idea it's going to do anything. Then you go back 2 weeks later, it was a hit. That's how I know the drama are popular. And I delete the drama. I hate, people always say, Dimitri, you just create a drama for views. You guys don't know how many videos we did not make or even deleted because they were too dramatic or too, I don't even know.
You're going to make people mad.
Yes, but it's a conflict of interest sometimes. Like, you also learn a lot about yourself. When you look at yourself at the camera, I'm like, I don't know if I like myself in that video. I'm not going to publish. I know it's going to go viral. I know people will watch it, but I don't know. YouTube is a learning experience for life, and you have so much data to analyze and to make it better. And that I love that tip, making every other video 1% better.
You don't have to get a lot better. Just try to get just a little bit better every single time.
Who influenced you the most? Like as far as content, video quality, who do you follow? I know Gary Vee was one problem on motivation side, but he does not care about cameras online and he's freaking Gary Vee. It's like documenting over creating.
The first coach that I hired was Nick Nimmin. I'm sorry, let me go back and correct that. The first coach I hired was Jeremy Vest. And Jeremy Vest literally every week told us, this is what you need to work on, this is what you need to do, this is where I can help you. And we signed up in one of his classes. And within 2 months, everybody was out but us. And there were about a dozen people in there when we started. And I asked him one day, I said, why is there nobody else in here? He said they wouldn't do what they were supposed to do. And think about it. Wow. You don't want to train a bunch of roofers, and then you're looking at the classroom one day, and you realize these guys aren't going to do what they're supposed to do. Now you put them out, and they say, oh, Dimitri taught me. Dude, you did that job all wrong. Well, because they didn't listen in class. So he literally was like, look, y'all do exactly what you're supposed to do. You focus on it, you work on it, you listen, you grow. But watching Nick Nimmin, and he just does lives on Saturday morning, Nick and D, and they teach you things to do. And that's where I started talking with D about, 1% better. That's all we try to do ever, get 1% better.
Wow. And
that has been big for us because, look, anybody can get 1% better. If you do 100 push-ups tomorrow, you can do 101. I mean, you can. If you can get to 100, you can get to 101.
Make it burpees. I'll do burpees.
There you go.
One more burpee.
So one more burpee. That's it. One more. And you say, that's it. I mean, think about it. If you're doing 100, you can do 101. But you can't say, okay, I'm going to do 10 today, I'm going to do 50 tomorrow, and I'm going to do 100 the next day. It's not going to work out very well for you. But if you just set a small goal and say, this is what I want to do, and do it, but be consistent and stick with it. And to me, man, that's what it's getting the right team together to where we all believe in that and we all work towards it. And I think that's huge.
Love it. Thank you so much for the tips. I hope you guys learned something. Comment below what you think. What was your favorite part? Comment below if you are right there on the edge about starting a YouTube channel for your business or you need some help. Either me or Roger will reply, give you some more tips. We walked the walk. We started the journey. We're a little bit ahead of you if you're just getting started, but we're willing to help and share our experience with you. Comment below. And if you like this video, give us one of those. Subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. That was awesome.
Very good.